Hi everyone, it's Donna here from Donna's Creative Corner, and I am here today with a project share, and one of my cats is getting ready, is getting ready to come into the shot. Go around. Go around. Okay. I just finished my fabric album that I have been working on, and I just thought I would share it with you. This is a round album. There it is, very thick. You can see how thick it is with all the dangles at the bottom here. This is the second album I've made with this theme. I just love the turn of the century, Victorian era, and the ladies with their big hats. So all the pictures in here are from that era with the humongous hats, and I'm going to come in close on the cover photo. Look at the size of her hat. I just can't imagine wearing something like that out. But that was the fashion then. On the cover, there are just layers and layers of laces and doilies. This is a doily. I added the pearls on it. Another layer of lace behind that, some pink tulle trim, some more laces around the picture with some pink Venice lace, little flowers with pearls in the middle, and some trim around the picture. And then one of my wedding dress appliques from the neckline of a wedding dress with some dangles on it there. And some doily trim at the bottom, piece of doily, and some more trim under here. And these are the layers of the lace. So that is the cover. The first page, you can see I tried my hand at coloring some appliques. You're going to see some colored appliques coming up in my next video this weekend, which will probably be Sunday rather than Saturday this weekend. But this page 2 has lots of doilies. There's like a star-shaped doily in the background here, a little tatted doily behind that, some trim with a pink, or not pink, but blue ribbon going through it, going around. I tried to pick up the light blue that was in the feathers on her hat. Let me show you this picture. Another humongous hat with plumes of feathers. Some very little vintage trim going around that came off of a garment. Doily behind that, and another one of the wedding dress appliques with some dangles coming down from the bottom, and also some little sequined appliques on each of the points of the doily, star doily. And at the bottom I have some little flower trim. I just cut pieces off of it and just dangled them, put them down at the bottom for dangles. Below that is another trim here, and then below that is another dangle trim with some like gold, almost a gold colored dangles. Page 2, there's my pretty lady with her big brimmed hat with look like silk ribbon holding it on. This one too has layers and layers of there's a doily there, some trim that was cut off of a garment, and I gathered it up and kind of put it behind here. This was a piece of fabric that I cut up and put in underneath this crochet trim here. Down on the bow there's another piece of that same fabric that came off of that fabric. Wedding dress applique at the top, and around the picture is some little eyelet trim with this pretty teardrop, pearl teardrop trim around that. And this doily behind the picture goes all the way down to the bottom here, comes down to a point, and I just put little pieces from that same trim that's over here, actually. Cut little flowers from it and put it around. This bow is from one of my wedding dresses, and another wedding dress applique here coming down from it. And coming off of the bow, I have little pieces of this kind of like pearly flower trim, and then another pretty Venice lace trim in the greens that are kind of in the, pulling off the greens that are in her hat. And then at the bottom are some dangle trim and some, these are like, it's like a tassel trim, almost yarn. I don't know if you can see that right there, trim coming off of that. So that's the second page. The third and fourth pages are my pink pages, because both of the pictures have a little bit of pink in them. This one, the picture, she's got a big brim hat with feathers coming off of it, and I put a little bow on her hat and some stickles in the flowers that she's holding. The picture is surrounded by this flat pearl trim, this little dainty pink eyelet trim. And then in the corner here, I hope you can see this. This is I found a pair of these at an estate sale. This is a crocheted teacup. You can see this is the plate, and there's the cup, there's the handle for the cup. And then it kept wanting to get squished down, so I stuck a rolled rose in the middle of it to kind of help it keep its shape. Isn't that adorable? I have another one of these, so I'm going to put that in a future book. Around the edge of this is some pink lace. There's a doily behind here. Some more layers of that kind of fabric that came off of a garment that I gathered. And around the doily are some Venice lace flowers with some other little flowers with some bling in the center of them, pink bling. And around the edge, I just stuck some little pieces of appliques in every now and then. There's another piece there. And the dangles at the bottom of this one are first this one here, and I put some pearls going down that one. And then under that is some pink dangle trim, and the rest is the ruffles. And the fourth page, let me show you the picture. Is she pretty? I put some stickles in the flowers on her hat and the flowers that she's holding, and she's got pink and green she's wearing. So I've got pink flat pearls around her with some pretty little scalloped lace and some tulle trim behind that, and a little wedding dress applique over here. Along the side is a large, gorgeous wedding applique going all the way down. Very pretty cream color with lots of pearls and sequins in it. Behind that is a doily, and then some more of that gathered fabric, and another trim behind that. and another, no, that's the back side of the other one. Up at the top, I had a little, I put a little arrangement up here with a wedding dress applique with the pearls, with some pearls put onto it, and a gathered fan of this pretty scalloped trim here, and then stuck in the middle of it are these little like flower buds that I got at either Joann or Michael's, with some stamen stuck in between as well. I've had these in my stash forever, and this is the first time I've ever used them, so I was glad to finally find a use for them. And then the dangles at the bottom are first these, it's hard to separate them. This trim here, and then below that is some, I don't know what you call that, little rope trim. And then behind that is a some pieces of doily hanging down. 3 pieces of doily hanging down. So that's the 4th page. The 5th page and the pocket page. This one I put the photo kind of over the side, and I just did layers and layers and layers going all the way around. Excuse me, of all different laces and trims. I'll show you the picture. Humongous hat piled with I guess that's feathers. I don't know what that is. This right here was taken without the pearls. It was taken from like a thing you put pots on to protect your table, and I took it all apart, and this is what it came off of it, and then I put the pearls around it. And then layers of doilies and trim, more trim here, and then another trim around the edge. There's a doily in there as well. And then I just stuck little, I went to my snippet bag and I stuck little pieces of doilies and trims, and just to give it some extra interest. Little pieces of it everywhere around the edge, stuck in between the trims. And at the bottom of this one, there's some rows of this trim that I put pearls in the middle of it. There's another one there. And then there's this trim as well, and the ones on the end I put pearls on the end of that one as well. So those are the dangles on that page. And then the pocket page, finally. Let me come out. The pocket page, I have some trim all the way around, some eyelet trim going all the way around, and then, come on, this gorgeous, there's another doily behind that, and then this tatted doily. I wanted to leave this part exposed because I just love tatting. I think it's so beautiful. Look how delicate that is. So I wanted to leave that showing behind the pocket. And then this is this pretty lace, and I added some bling along the flowers on it, and that's just loose. And under it is the pocket with some trim around the edge, and then a wedding dress applique there. And you can see the tatting peeking out at the bottom as well. And then inside the pocket I have this little tag that there's eyelet fabric on the back, and this is just a summary of, I did some research on the internet on this period and wearing of hats and that kind of thing, and this just talks about the etiquette and what people thought about wearing, what it was like wearing hats. It says that etiquette suggests that it would be a disgraceful act to venture out of the house without a hat or even gloves. And then there's a period, it talks about hats with huge broad brims, worn in the mid-decade, trimmed with masses of feathers and occasionally complete stuffed birds, male hummingbirds for those who could afford them. It was just fascinating to read about that, so that's just stuck in the pocket there. And then the back page is just very simple, layers and layers of different sized doilies, all the way down to this little one with the pearl in the middle. And then my Handmade by tag on the back. And the spine is just some rosette trim along the spine. Very simple. So that is my fabric album, my second Big Hat Ladies album that I've made. I'll put a link in the description box below to the first one that I did with this this theme. I'm already starting on another album. I have my bag of stuff ready. I've got my base ready to go. Oh, I'm talking about the base for this, how I did it, and this is not my idea. I believe this came from Margaret, who is 7MRST on YouTube. She does fabulous fabric and doily albums. She is just so talented. There's so many ladies out there that do wonderful albums, but I have to say Margaret is my favorite. And this is the template that I used. This is just regular copy paper that I glued together. The diameter of these circles is 7 inches across, 2 circles with a 2-inch connector between them, which would end up being the spine. I cut 2 of these out of, for this one I used felt, 2 of these out of felt, and then I stitched. Once I cut them out, I stitched not all the way at the end, but a little bit in, all the way down to create the spine. So you've got your fold there, your fold there, your fold there, and then your fold there, which creates the actual spine of the album. So that's how I constructed the base for this album. So I just wanted to share that with you. I love the way it turned out. I hope you do too. I hope you, if you haven't already, I hope you try one. They're so much fun to do and so addictive. But that's what I have for today. If you like what you've seen, feel free to give me a comment. I'd love to hear what people think about what I do. And I have another video coming this weekend, probably Sunday, with more wedding dress, and I have some trims, actually, some regular trims this time. So stay tuned, and bye for now.